Hello, Word Pathfinders. Welcome. Excellent time to be with you. I'm so excited, to be reaching out to you through this medium once again. There's been a lot of feedback to all the works we've been doing, the videos we've been releasing. A lot of people have been reaching out, trying to see how they improve their business. Some people want to penetrate the market. But there's something I needed to respond to. I had an encounter with a young man that reached out to me about 2 weeks ago, and I needed to respond to this because this is one of the problems that I see, one of the mistakes that I see that all the new most of the new ventures founders, they fall in, they make all the time. I had also made that mistake earlier in my journey, so I felt that I should address it. So this young guy came to me, they're excited. They've expended time, they've expended money, they've expended resources developing a new product. The product is actually an app. And he came to me and felt that I have the connection, to help him penetrate a market. The market is actually a church, a very big church that has presence in over 190 nations. And that was their motivation for developing, spending time, spending resources, spending effort, trying to develop this product. So I tried to understand what the product is all about, what need the product is meant to serve, what market segment the product is trying to serve. And I discovered that the product was, an online user authentication app. It was meant to authenticate, users without the presence of the organization online. And I discovered that this is not the need of the church. So these guys, they need to understand, the need of the customers they are trying to serve, and they went ahead, spent resources, spent effort and time trying to develop a product for a market segment, that don't have the need. I had this challenge when I started off with my wife. One of the new, ventures I wanted to bring to the market, I wanted to bring a hat brand to the market. And my only motivation then was that I belong to this same church that has presence in 190 nations of the world. And the requirement of the church is such that every female members of the church must cover their hair. So we thought that we had a very huge market. So what did we do? We went to UK, met one of the best hat designers in UK that designed for the big retail shops in UK. And we got them to design hats for us. We even went a step further because we're so sure of our market, and we asked for exclusive rights, to cover Africa, which means that these guys can only design hats, for us in the entire Africa. So they went ahead, they granted our request, we paid for the design, and we went to China, to produce the design. So we brought the first container load thinking that we have a huge market. But unfortunately for us, when we came to Nigeria with our container loads of hats, we discovered that if you have a beret, if you have scarf, you have met that requirement of covering your hair. So we found out that less than 5% of the church can afford a designer hat or even have a need of a designer hat that we have spent time, spent resources developing. So I found out that this is one mistake almost all new venture founders make, and I want you to avoid it. If you are trying to bring a new product to the market, if you are trying to pursue a new venture, there is need for you to avoid making this mistake. So this young gentleman went ahead with his team. They developed an app. They were so excited about their product, but unfortunately, the market segment that they want to serve, they got it wrong. The need of the market segment, they got it wrong. So today we want to look at a 4-step process to avoiding this mistake of wasting time, wasting effort, wasting resources, developing a product, that the market will resist. Why? Because the market doesn't have the need. So what is the first step? The first step is identify the gap in the market. When I mean the market, the first two things you need to identify in this case is which market segment have this need and what is the need. Listen to me, for your venture to succeed, for a new venture to succeed, that new venture must, as a matter of fact, absolutely offer sustainable, differentiated solution for strong unmet customer need in the market. That's very important. Okay, you must offer a differentiated solution, okay, for a strong unmet customer need in the market. So 2 words there. The first one is unmet need. You need to discover that there is an unmet need in the market segment that your product is coming out to meet. The second one is that this need must be strong, also, which means that it must be a strong pain point for them. I've said, often that 2 reasons that people buy is either to solve pain or to gain pleasure. But what motivates people to release their money most of the time is when to solve pain. So you have a strong need when it's a pain point, okay, to your customer. So the first thing is that you must, find out what the needs are in the market, what the gap is, which market segment have this gap. That is the first requirement. Once you miss that, very likely you are going to get every other thing wrong. So it's important that you identify that there's a real need in the market and you actually understand, the market segment that have this thing. That's the mistake I made in my first, venture launch. That's the mistake this young man made. He wasted money, he wasted time, he wasted resources designing a product for the wrong market, with the wrong need. So that's very important. That's the first thing you must establish. The second thing is that you must devise a differential product, okay, to meet this need. So you have identified the need. The second thing is you need to differentiate yourself, which means that you are bringing a product, okay, that is superior. All right, you are offering something that is superior in a meaningful way, to other, service provider in the market. Why is that important? That you must differentiate your product. Why is differentiation, important? Why is it important that you must offer something superior, something that is superior in meaningful ways? Because there's a switching cost for people to switch from their existing provider, to your new solution. There is a switching cost. Once the advantage of the offering is not far better than the switching cost, people will not switch from where they are, to come and, patronize your new product. So your offering must be superior in a meaningful way, because there's a switching cost for your customer to switch from the existing provider, to come and test out what you are going to do. So the first one is that make sure that there's a real gap in the market, you understand the market. The second one is that you need to devise a differential product that meets that unmet need. A product that is superior in a meaningful way to existing product. Why? Because there's a switching cost. People need to switch from where they are right now to you. And if the advantage of coming to patronize you is not far greater than the switching cost, people will just decide to stay where they are. The third part of the process, the third step on the process, you must validate market demand. So you have assumed that there's a market. You want, to devise a differentiated product. Okay. The third thing you need to do, you need to validate, the market demand using the lean startup techniques. We have talked about this several times. Okay. Why lean startup? Every entrepreneur is someone who is trying to pursue risky opportunity while lacking resources. There is no entrepreneur that have all the resources to pursue the opportunity they've identified in the market. So why is lean startup important? It's important so that you start with small experiments without wasting the resources that you don't have. Okay, so the lean startup is a lean experiment, to resolve risk. I've said that you are pursuing a risky opportunity while lacking resources. So you need to find out how to resolve the risk. Venture owners, okay, use this experiment to validate their assumption. So your opportunity is first an assumption, but you need to validate it, because before you go into full, force production, before you begin to produce for the mainstream market, you need to be sure that your assumptions are correct. Also, every experiment, every new venture has a high level of uncertainty. So those experiments, help you, to resolve, the uncertainty. And finally, you need to choose a proven business model. This is very important, okay? Differentiation is not only important, it's not only crucial. sustaining the differentiation over a long period of time is important. Why is this important? Because without barrier of entry, the venture will be vulnerable to copycats. People are trying, to come into your business and replicate what you are doing, trying to copy what you are doing. So you need a business model, that ensure, that, you differentiate yourself on a sustainable level, to be able to, be on top of the market for a longer period. Barriers are, to copycat are mostly called moats. There are, two ways that you can put barrier to your business. The first one is proprietary assets, like strong brand. For a new venture, very likely you can't take advantage of strong brand, but you can take advantage of things like patents. So your solution is so different that you can patent it so that for a very long period of time, other people don't come into your business. And the second way that you can, introduce barrier to entry, into your new opportunity is, business model attributes. What did I call it? Business model attribute. This is an attribute of your business model that confer advantage to you, in attracting and retaining customers. We talked so much about, developing a business model. I've said before, time without number, that your value proposition, your product is not a business. It becomes a business when you understand, how to effectively create it, how to deliver it to the market, and how to capture value to the market. So in summary, the first thing is that you must identify a gap in the market. You must understand the market segment, that have the gap. Then you must, devise a differentiated product, to meet this unmet need. You need to make sure, because this is very important, because there's a switch in cost. And thirdly, you must validate, the demand in the market, because you are making an assumption, but there's a way you need to validate it. You can use the lean startup to make sure you produce an experiment that ensure that the market actually exists. In fact, if you do this well, before you finish your product development, you would have built a large customer base that you are not in confusion as to which market segment need your product. And finally, you need a business model that ensure that this differentiation is sustainable over a long period of time, and you don't have people coming to copy what you have done, and dilute your share of the market. I hope this is useful. You find this useful and valuable. If you find this useful, please share within your network. And if you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to just click the subscribe button, so that you'll be one of the first people that will see the videos we are relating, the values we are sharing. And next week, by the grace of God, we'll bring another topic your way. Thank you, and do have a great day. Bye for now.